You need to understand how to use it. It can't be a reaction. It's gotta be a decision.
So that little girl decided to blow up the crow? Okay, it's dark, but I'm here for it. The only thing there may be more of than Stephen King books is movies and TV shows based on Stephen King books, and I am fine with that. Often the prolific writer's imagination is more advanced than the technology of the time can allow, so coming back to his seminal works even decades later is always ripe for a fresh and exhilarating approach. That's why I'm so excited for the new adaptation of Firestarter, King's best-selling classic about a young girl with amazing powers, and you are never going to believe what those powers are. Okay, if you guessed fire starting, then that's on me. I didn't really challenge you. But you guys knowing what's up doesn't make the movie from the producers of the Paranormal Activity films any less thrilling. Zac Efron stars as Andy, who, like a lot of us, did some experimenting in college that comes back to bite him. In this case, he signs up for a literal experiment along with future wife Vicky, played by Sydney Lemon. Here's the thing, the shadowy federal agency that ran the experiment wasn't planning on Andy and Vicky falling in love on their adjacent gurneys and eventually having a child, so no one was ready for what the second generation of such an experiment would inherit. Of course, like all good shadowy federal agencies, the folks who ran this experiment have been keeping an eye out, and when Charlie, played by Ryan Kiera Armstrong, turns 11, her power and the fire it manifests becomes harder and harder to control. And before long, the family's location has been revealed, and they're forced to go on the run before Charlie can be seized and turned into a walking weapon. You know, a tale as old as time. But since the novel's release in 1980 and the subsequent 1984 adaptation starring a young Drew Barrymore, a lot has changed, and a fresh, contemporary take on the story can bring new perspectives that shape new characters and approaches. There's also 30 years worth of advancement in visual effects and cinematography, which really comes into play for director Keith Thomas and director of photography Karim Hussein when they're trying to have an 11-year-old girl ignite the world around her on fire in a visually dynamic way. Particularly, the film utilized the new Cinefade system to make the most of the limited time on set the young star had. So when you put a great cast with an iconic story from seasoned producers and cutting-edge visuals, it's a recipe for success. I mean, what else could you possibly ask for here? A score from John Carpenter along with his son Cody and Daniel Davies? Because this movie has that too. Basically, Firestarter is giving you everything you could want when it hits theaters and Peacock on May 13th. Until next time, keep the horror on the screen and off the streets.
Subscribe for new scary videos and comment with your theories on the Crypt Monster universe. Remember, it's all connected.